So in this video then, I'm going to be discussing deployments, so specifically the army. So it's how you're going to deploy and the process it takes to deploy and opportunities for deployment within the army. Probably one of the best summers I've ever had in my life. Anyway, welcome, and if you're new to the channel, hello, my name is Luke and welcome to Ranger Media. It is obviously what you probably would have guessed, a military orientated channel. I like to bring my sort of hobby of filmmaking and photography, bring it together and combine it with my day job. You'll find videos on maybe how-tos, so giving you advice if you are falling the category or if you would like to join the sort of British Army. You're going to find a lot of information out there specifically to my own regiment, which is the Royal Irish Regiment, which is infantry regiment in the British Army. However, if you do not fall in that category and you have no interest in joining the British Army and you're just dropping in here for some entertainment, 100% going to get it. I'd like to sort of talk all things military, do all sort of tribute videos, and a new thing you may have noticed if you're a current subscriber, a podcast that I started there on Monday. So loads of different sort of diverse stuff on the channel, so there's a little piece of something for everyone. So finally get to that point on it. If it's something that you do think you might like, please consider subscribing and hit that little bell icon, because if you don't know what that does, it will keep you up to date on any future content. So anything I publish up on YouTube, boom, you'll get a notification and you can kind of watch it. And please give me a like, it really does help it. And for all you that keep coming back every week and you are the subscribers, thank you, appreciated, and let's continue on the journey. So this week's episode, well, I keep saying episode because we're going to continue on throughout the year and they're not very timely. So this week's video then, talking head video, and I'm going to be answering one of you, so the subscribers, who asked the question, could I put a video together on deployments? So deployments with, we're going to go British Army, so like the processes, just everything around deployment. So yes, I'm going to answer your question, and this is the start of this video. So obviously, I'm not going to sort of discuss future deployments coming up and sort of future plans for deployments and what they may look like. However, how I can answer that question is we can go back in time, which you'll probably seen from the entry clip there, and discuss previous deployments and the sort of how they go about, what way you go about to get on them, how to train for them. What I'd like a sort of broad brush sort of talk on what consists of being there, and then afterwards. So yes, that is going to be it. So the first thing what we're going to talk about then is how to. The how part then. So it's going to be as a battle group. So when I say battle group, I'm going to say regiment. So as a regiment, infantry regiment, imagine you're the centre of it, and then you have all your attached arms. So you're within a massive brigade. So you've got this regiment. They're going to deploy out. They're going to deploy out. What do you need? You're going to need support. You're going to need support from artillery. You're going to be medical, med staff. You need the sort of logistics side of things. You need signals. You need the REME, everything to make up that final product. So that'll all come together and away you go. Right, beforehand then, what I like to look at it is like a 12 months out of your life. So I know the Americans, if there are any Americans watching, please jump in the comment section if you know anything about your tours, because I do know you do like 12 to 15 months away. That's crazy. But for us, so it's 12 months out of life, but it's not 12 months fully away. You're going to do about 3 months-ish of pre-deployment training. So that is like training specific to where you're going to go. So if you looked back in Afghanistan, it's not flipping new news. You'll have known there's loads of IEDs there, and the way that operation it was. So that pre-deployment training is designed to start going over your skills and drills that you're going to need specific to that operation, because there's certain stuff you will do there that you won't do all the time as a soldier, because you cannot train for all these different eventualities all the time. You've got that one route which you'll train for all the time, and then you look at a specific thing and you'll knuckle in on that there and really go to town on that sort of skill before you go to that environment. So you're on your pre-deployment training, you're doing that for 3-ish months, so you're going to do a lot of live firing. So this is really class. There's no other better, apart from actually deploying operations, no other better time in the military is live firing. You're going out doing the business, no blank rounds, all live ammunition. It's normally a lot more resourced. So definitely also when you're going, we have like mortars firing in, artillery there firing in, you know, your support weapons, the 50 cals, GMGs, all that off to the side, giving you fire support whenever you're moving down. It is class live firing. So if you're like CALFEX, so combined arms live firing, tactical exercise, put that in a nutshell. So yeah, absolutely amazing time to be in. So you'll do all that sort of stuff. Once your sort of mini training packages come to an end, you'll have normally about sort of 2 weeks leave, and then you'll disappear away home. You'll sort out everything before you go and disappear. You will keep everything into the forefront of your mind because you know what's coming, especially if it's your first time. But that's your time to sort of chill out and just go sort of, I'm just going to say yes, I just go nuts. For me, I just went nuts. I think I took a big loan out as well. I just went complete flipping, just went full, yeah. I just need to keep watch what words I'm going to say here because I realise what the sort of different sort of diverse audience I may have. But let's just say a little bit, have you ever seen the film Project X? A little bit like that. So that all happened, come back from Project X and then come back to your sort of regiment or whoever. You'll have a couple of days and you're normally going to be deploying pretty imminently when you come back off that sort of leave. And then away you go into the country. So for us, obviously, Afghanistan, so we're speaking about, dropped off into camp, you fly into Camp Bastion. Obviously, looking at me now and my complexion and the country I come from, it sees sun probably about 1 day a year, and suddenly now I'm dropped into the flipping middle of the desert, in the middle of the Middle East, and shrivel up like a prune and burn. So it's pretty much 90% of my regiment anyway. So, but you have to do, and it's not just us, not just Rangers that have to do this, because where we come from, everyone has to do climatization. So you need to get used to that sort of climate. So if you're going to go flipping fighting in Siberian sort of desert, you're going to have to do a different climatization to that because it's flipping, you just have to get used to the sort of surroundings which you've entered into because your body's not used to it. I mean, you can't just go from 0 to hero, especially back then with all the kit and equipment you're carrying on your back. So you do a bit of climatization there, and then bits of other training. You would get some advice from people who were leaving, who have already just been there for 6 or 7 months, passing on the knowledge of what they'd done onto you, and then you sort of finish off, and then you'd fly away out to your location. So Afghanistan, obviously. So Helmand province then is a province. So think of it, if you're in the UK, like a county, and it had all sort of different villages or towns in there. Sangin, Lashnagar, Musakala, Kajaki, there's a few more. All these sort of different locations, and then you get dropped in where you're going to go to. You go to the flight line with your company, and you divide it all down into different people will go fly at different times, blah blah blah. But I'm telling you now, there's no better feeling than walking on to the back of that Chinook, seeing the two big exhausts, the heat's blasting out, you're looking around, there's that smell as well, you can smell, you're looking to your left and right, you can see all your battle buddies looking at you, smiling and everything, especially if this is, excuse me, I'm just getting so excited, especially if it's your very first time. Now obviously with that tour with us, there was a load of them, the junior commanders had been the year before, so they knew what was coming, so they're all done, like pure like Terminator music in their heads, walking on, and we were still looking at each other going, right, this is it, getting really excited, G'd up, loving it, away you go, jump on, and away you go, fly off. It's a pretty cool experience, like, especially because the Chinooks fly extremely high when you're going in, and then just dip down, sort of that sort of last sort of flight path, but whenever you're looking out, so the tail gets down, the RAF loadmaster is sitting there with his GPMG, but you can see out the sort of door, and you can see the Apaches and stuff in the distance sort of escorting you in. It's just, it's right at that moment, the army is huge, it's a massive organisation, but right at that specific moment you feel like you are the absolute point of the whole British army. Like, you've just got that feeling where the whole army is behind you, and you're in this Chinook, and the Apache's there, and there's nothing else in front of you but, in this case, the enemy. And just that feeling is flipping class. It's like, what's it like? It's like a kid waking up on Christmas morning. Just that excitement you may have had walking down the stairs at like 3 years old, knowing that the big fat man in the red suit had been to your house and he had dropped off all sorts of stuff. That's that sort of feeling. Anyway, right, so you'll get in there and you'll arrive into your sort of wherever you are, location. You get into the location, and then that's you're in your operational tour. The only other point out of that there, excuse me, within that tour is obviously R&R, is a sort of 2 week package. 2 week package, excuse me. 2 weeks you'll fly off home and go on leave as such. That is also for me was project. You'll do your business there, and then you'll come back again on the theatre, finish off your tour, and then you will then head back And for then it was we would go to Cyprus to do all the business in Bastion, handing over and getting all the kit and equipment and brief the next lot going through and all that sort of stuff. Off to Cyprus. Cyprus is a decompression, so it's not held there anymore specifically for other tours, but back then it was, and it's basically you had a barbecue, 2-can rule with the beers, very light conversation, everyone smiled at each other, all great friends, and then you left Cyprus. Right, and then you went back to left Cyprus and went back to the UK. Obviously I'm laughing because you could probably expect what that was in Cyprus. Project X on steroids meets Rocky Balboa. Anyway, so back to the UK, and when you arrive back in the UK, it was back then, it was like all your sort of, you will have seen it in the news back then if you're sort of old enough to remember. It was just sort of welcome home parades. So to come back here to the UK and to do them sort of parades where sort of people are cheering and they're genuinely pleased you're back, and that's a really good feeling, very proud feeling, especially when you're marching up this like a normal sort of town street, and you're sort of you feel proud of what you've just done and what you've came through. So yes, you'll do all that, and then you'll go on a main bulk of leave, which can be between 3 to sort of 4 weeks, again all depending on sort of timelines, but you will have accumulated, obviously. You'll get your annual leave all year, and from April to April, obviously you haven't been on a lot of it because you've been on tour, so that will all have built up. Also the lovely big bank balances built up, and I will flick back to experiences as well, because it was mine, especially if you're a ranger or a private, or that sort of younger age, you're 18, 19 years old, you ain't got no kids, you've got no wife, it's just you, the lone wolf. All that money has been building up the whole time you've been away.
22 billion in 3 hours!
Because you will get paid more in operations than what you normally would get, and you'd also get a tax refund. So it's like not a tax refund, well basically it's a tax refund, but it's a bonus. Very first tour was £2,500, and it jumped up to £5,000 on top of everything else, which is decent enough. Like, if you're going to go on one of these tours, invest your money. That first tour of mine was 2008. That was the time where we had the massive economy like crashed, and the housing market crashed, and houses were so cheap, especially where I'm from in Northern Ireland. They're cheaper there anyway, but they were even cheaper, and I had all the money to buy one. So imagine that. So I could have had a mortgage at 19 years old. Didn't. I lived life. I had experiences. Yeah, it was good times, not gonna lie. But yes, if I was to advise, in hindsight, invest your money, because guys did. Guys a little bit more sensible than me, and they did invest it into bricks and mortar, and they have now near enough finished flipping paying off mortgage, so near enough good like houses with like no mortgages at like 30 years old. So yes, that is a really good bonus to do, and it can really boost your sort of your financial state and an operational tour. So that's another. So one, you're getting to do the job you joined the military to do. You're getting to have them experiences. You'll gain so much confidence from being in the army as it is in general, but going on operation, that's like flipping. That's a different thing. Like it is brilliant. Your confidence will sky high. My dad did say to me like I was a bell end before I went, and he said he noticed when I came back from that tour in 2008 that I was a man, and he could see it. My maturity, like I will not say maturity because it's still a bit of a sort of rocket, but there was a difference there on how I just held myself and how I went about life. Yes, so yeah, and that is it with the operational tour. And then after you've had that sort of main leave, after you'll come back to work, you'll slowly start to bed in, and then it's back into normal jogging again. And if you're lucky and it's like a campaign you're on, it could be another 6 months before you go back onto that cycle again, and then you just go back into that big ring again. And by this time now, you may have done a career course, and now you've promoted up to your first rank, so it's your first shot at leadership, or you've got a little bit more responsibility. You're maybe a section commander now, or a platoon sergeant, or officers. You may have. That's not as great for you, is it? Because you're going to go from a platoon commander to a company 2IC. But yes, anyway, so yeah, you're going to have different, a whole different, that experience will be totally different. It's never ever the same anyway. So yes, that is it for this episode then on operations. It's a broad brush, that sort of specific Herrick I was sort of taking the examples from. Sort of the Helmand campaign, the Herrick and the Afghanistan campaign. That's to go really deep dive into that. That's a totally different video in itself. But we'll maybe look at doing that in the future. But that's just sort of broad brush on what operations are, what a main operation would look like, if you're to go in. And they do, and they're out there, and they are. You can get on them, and the opportunities are there, whether it be as a regiment or as a sort of smaller training team. Excuse me, heartburn. Anyway, so if this was your very first video and you just stumbled across it tonight, thanks very much if you've got to this far. Please, if you haven't already, consider liking and subscribing. If you are a current subscriber and you're back here every week, hit that like button. It doesn't cost anything. It costs you about half a calorie of energy. Just go, and what it does, it just tells YouTube, it just helps YouTube certify this channel and help grow the channel. So that's all you gotta do, and it'll be very, very much appreciated. So I will see you again on a next video, which hopefully be Monday. I'm not sure if it's going to be a military tribute yet or another podcast. You would have seen the podcast that was there on Monday. It's a sort of new element I'm bringing into the channel itself. So it's either going to be a serving soldier or a veteran, or they might not even have to have done any military service, but they have that sort of interest and background. Just want to sort of dabble in that sort of area and start that up. Trying to make it one a week. Obviously, it's not just me. I need to get a guest on. So if it's not 1 week, it's going to be bi-weekly. So it's going to be 2 weekly, but there will definitely be one a month. But yes, and if you did like that, and if you didn't know what I'm on about, I will leave a link here to sort of bring you on that live stream. But please jump in the comments section below and let us know, give me your feedback on that. It's something you do enjoy, and it's something you'd like to see more of, both positive and negative, please. Right, anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you again on another episode. Oh, and don't forget to stay in touch with Instagram and Facebook and stories on here, and I will keep you updated with all things that are happening, because you just jump on the stories and they're pretty quick without having to go through all the editing process and the main bulk videos on YouTube. Is that it? That is it. Right, thanks very much, and I'll see you again next time.